von LA. Nö. Diesmal spielen wir den Fall die nackte Stadt. Und zwar in der Sittenabteilung. So, hier unsere Aufgabe. Wir sind jetzt in einem Apartment. Und müssen halt erstmal den Tatort untersuchen. Und das werden wir machen.
Phelps?
Mal, we've had a look around. Rusty thinks it's a waste of time. What's your theory?
Come on, Mal. Tell us why we were dragged down here.
If the victim was alive when she entered the tub, water would have entered her lungs. The water is violently churned in the windpipe as she drowns. The result is that foam is generated. A closer look at her head and neck.
Her neck is bruised pretty badly. Bruising on the forearms, and these look like bite marks.
Very good.
Ja, so gut ist das nun nicht, ne? Zumindest für die junge Dame hier.
Very unusual ring.
Could be wrong, but it looks like a black sapphire. The eyes are a classic sign of morphine, and the bruises tell their own story. I think one man held her down and another held her arm and injected her. They put her in the bath to try to cover it as a drowning.
And spread a trail of barbiturates.
Take a look around outside on your way out and see if you can find the syrettes. It would make my theory.
And morphine would have been very quick, and there wouldn't have been much of a struggle.
Okay, so find two guys who recently bought syrettes and weren't junkies, and you might be onto something.
Also eben gerade hatten wir eine kleinen Verbindungsabbruch. Aufgrund der Internetverbindung. Ich hoffe, das ist nicht allzu störend. Dann sehen wir uns mal hier um.
Quality English smoking jacket. I don't know anyone under 45 who would wear one.
Was ist das hier? Tabletten.
Looks like barbiturates.
So, mal gucken, ob wir in der Ecke noch was finden. Nee, hier nicht. Aber hier.
Barbiturates. What else is rattling around in this thing?
Überall Schlaftabletten. Na, geht doch weiter. Da können wir nichts machen. Aber hier können wir noch gucken.
Don't think this is anything.
So, hier ist nichts mehr. Ah. An die Badewanne kommen wir nicht ran. Da will ich auch nicht hin.
Look, I got nothing to tell you, and I can't work with you under my goddamn nose every second.
Ja, so gut. Ah, hier kann man noch gucken.
This is all top end of town stuff. Gives us somewhere to look.
Da ist nix. Aber auf einem Level, der wird bestimmt was sein.
There's been a modeling assignment.
Ah, da haben wir doch was.
It's a place to start.
Das wäre wohl ein Anfang.
Beautiful girl. Clothes certainly aren't from the Sears catalog.
Gut. Ah, hier kann man noch gucken.
I don't think so. Not much help. Nope.
Aber irgendwas müssen wir übersehen haben.
Help me out.
Once you've checked the bathroom, Cole, you better take a look around.
Irgendwo haben wir wohl was vergessen.
What now?
Once you've checked the bathroom, Cole, you better take a look around.
Lass mich schon mal durch hier. Auf jeden Fall. Guten Tag. Komisch, komisch, komisch. Hier haben wir noch die 3 Bilder.
Find anything interesting? This is murder 1. Get out there and find the guys who did it.
Sicher. Hier haben wir aber nichts vergessen.
I'm at a loss.
Once you've checked the bathroom, Cole, you better take a look around.
You get lost and let me work? This broad was built to be photographed, even if she is dead.
So langsam habe ich wohl keinen Plan mehr. Wir haben ja schon überall geguckt. Na, ganz toll.
We should speak to her doctor. Prescribing both drugs would make her life a roller coaster.
Partner.
Advice?
You want to talk to the
Genau.
cleaning lady? Be my...
I'm Detective Phelps. I'm here to try and help Julia. Do you mind answering some questions?
Virginia Reynoldson, I'm just so shocked. I feel like there's something I should be doing, someone I should call.
We can make those calls, ma'am. Who needs to be contacted?
Okay, das ist das Hausmädchen von unserem Opfer. Jetzt beweisen wir das Morphium. Den möglichen Selbstmord. Den Ring, 2 Verdächtige. Die Jacke, die Tabletten, den Modeljob. Und das Rezept.
Was Miss Randall depressed about something? Upset?
No more than normal.
Jetzt kommt wieder der schwere Teil. Ich weiß es nicht. Sagt sie die Wahrheit oder verschweigt sie was? Wir nehmen einfach mal böser Kopf.
Would she have killed herself for a man?
Miss Julie would never have killed herself. She was a very determined young lady. One of those people who shake the tree for all it's worth.
Did Miss Randall have many friends visit?
I'm not sure. I only come around twice a week.
Aber jetzt. Sie guckt auffällig weg.
Men friends,
Oh,
Mrs.
no.
Reynoldson. Spill it.
I will not spread gossip about Miss Julia. She was very nice to me.
I don't care if she was the Virgin Mary's sister. Who was she humping? You changed the sheets.
You're disgusting. If you're going to take that tone, I won't answer any more questions.
Scheiße, ey, wir verkacken total.
What was it like working for Miss Randall?
Perfectly fine, officer.
Do you do the housekeeping on a regular basis?
Twice a week since
Nee, das wollen wir
Julie
nicht.
moved here from New York.
I know you're trying to protect Julia, Mrs. Reynoldson, but it won't help us solve the case. Julia can't be hurt anymore.
Was willst du
I'm
noch sagen?
stumped. Ideas?
You want to go digging around in drains trying to support Mal?
Stefan, Rusty, we'll take a look around outside and then follow up these leads. Can you get some guys to run down the jacket?
Auf geht er.
You think Carruthers has called it right?
He rarely gets it wrong.
I don't know. I'm a Galloway. I've met enough girls in my time who can't handle their dope.
Irgendwas war hier drin.
Any ideas?
You want to go digging around in drains trying to support Mal's theory? You go ahead. I'm not getting my hands dirty.
Komisch. Komisch, komisch, komisch. Oh Gott. Ah.
Mal will be pleased.
Well, that's hardly conclusive, given the number of those things we've come across recently.
The autopsy will confirm it one way or another.
I think our work is done here.
Und auf geht er. Da hinten parken wir. Ist doch gut. Fahr vorbei. Fahren wir erstmal zum Arzt.
Holloway, quite the little reunion in there. Almost brought a tear to my eye.
They're good police.
How would you know? You got promoted so fast you barely had time to learn their names. Let me fill you in. Bukowski's a pushover. Galloway's a drunk.
You could learn a thing or two from both of them.
Please. They couldn't work a vice case if their life depended on it.
I don't see why they'd be any better or worse at it than me.
I notice you said better. Hubris disguised as humility. Kind of your trademark, don't you think?
Why do you always twist everything? Galloway's got nothing to prove. He's been on homicide for years.
And he's welcome to it. You're a terrier, Phelps, and that's what I need. Not some old bulldog who can't get up a flight of stairs without coughing off his lunch.
Okay.
It's the next right. Take the next right.
Das war mal ein kurzer Einsatz von der Sirene. Damit wir zügig rüberkommen zu Dr. Stoneman. Ich habe mir so gedacht, dass wir mal einen Fall pro Stream durchspielen. Und die Fallen kommen halt ins Stream, dadurch, dass es bei der Aufnahme sonst immer pausiert. Wegen den Zwischensequenzen.
Here, Stoneman, office 505.
Oh, Fahrstuhl.
I swear, if we locked up every doctor in this town, Vice would be able to work half days.
Yes, sir, your name?
LAPD. We'd like to see Dr. Stoneman.
Dr. Stoneman is with a patient. Would you like to wait?
No, we wouldn't. Tell him we want to see him now.
There's no need to be rude.
Save it, sister.
Dr. Stoneman, I have some gentlemen from the LAPD here to see you.
Send them in, please. I'll see this patient again after they've left.
One.
Your investigation is much more important.
Dr. Stoneman, we are investigating the death of one of your patients, Julia Randall.
I'm very sorry to hear that.
Do you mind if we ask you some questions about Ms. Randall?
Not if it doesn't compromise doctor-patient privilege, Detective.
How well did you know Miss Randall?
Barely at all. She'd only been a patient 6 months or so.
She was disturbed.
Ey.
Not in the conventional sense. She had trouble sleeping.
Ist doch scheiße.
You wrote Julia Randall a prescription for Benzedrine. How can you account for that?
Miss Randall was in the fashion business. She wanted to control her weight.
Bleh.
Benzedrine is addictive, as I'm sure you know, Doctor.
As I warned her, but she was determined. She said she needed it to control her appetite.
Sounds like you knew her pretty well.
I knew the line of work she was involved in.
That'll be all for now, Dr. Stoneman. We'll be in touch.
If you don't mind, I have patients to see to.
The main reason Santa's so jolly is because he knows where all the bad girls live.
What do you think?
I say we check out the dress shop.
I followed on my head. Auf zum Kleiderladen.
The old boy's lying.
About what?
I don't know. He looked relieved when you said she was dead. That's a strange reaction to have to the death of a young patient.
Cool.
You're gonna go right up ahead. Have you noticed how croakers only pull out the physician-patient privilege card when they got something to hide?
There are certain things people have a right to keep private.
Until it gets in the way of police work. And it's only private when it suits them. A couple of drinks and every doctor I've met will spill your darkest secrets in a heartbeat. It's the next right.
Weißen Duft hingerückt. Da wären wir. Gehen wir mal rein.
Well, hello. What can I help you with today?
I understand you, but thousands wouldn't. Isn't that the cop that caught the guy that was pretending to be obnoxious oaf?
LAPD, ma'am.
I hope I haven't done anything wrong.
No, ma'am. We're making some inquiries about Julia Randall. Does she work here?
No, I had to let her go. Is she in some sort of trouble?
She was found dead this morning. How long had Julia worked as a model?
Well, she worked in New York before coming here. She was a very beautiful girl.
Could you tell us why you let Miss Randall go?
Husbands sometimes come in here with their wives. When Julia Randall modeled, the husbands were often more interested in her than they were their wives' dresses. The wives weren't happy, and neither was I.
Did she have any close friends here?
Actually, yes. Heather Swanson. Would you like to speak with her?
I'd like that very much. Please don't inform her about Miss Randall's death.
Very well, officer. Heather, these gentlemen are from the LAPD.
I'm Detective Phelps. This is Detective Earl. I understand that you worked with Julia Randall, Miss Swanson?
Yes.
Julia helped me get my job here. She's not in any kind of trouble, is she?
She's a hellraiser, isn't she? Lives a fast life.
Oh, no. Maybe Mrs. Stanley would call her that, but I wouldn't. She's full of life, wonderful company.
That's a lovely engagement ring.
Do you like it? Henry gave it to me.
I'm very interested in engagement rings. Do you mind if I take a closer look? That's some pearl, Miss Swanson. Would have cost Henry a fortune. He must really love you. How did you meet Julia?
I was introduced through my fiancé, Henry Arnett.
Dann glauben wir das mal.
Henry is your beau. Tell us about it.
Yes, he is. Henry has a fashion business. He and Julia have been friends for years.
Are Miss Randall and Mr. Henderson engaged?
Who's he?
She was wearing a sapphire engagement ring. Someone must have given it to her.
She never mentioned a man named Henderson to me.
That's all for now, Miss Swanson. Could you ask your fiancé to visit Hollywood Police Station? It would be very helpful to our inquiry.
Now, wait a moment. I don't think I'll pass on that message until you tell me why you're asking all these questions.
Julia Randall was found dead this morning.
What? Oh, no. Oh, I can't believe it. She was so full of life.
Na, mal gucken. Erstmal telefonieren wir eine Runde.
Cole Phelps, badge 1247.
How can I help, Detective?
Are there any messages for me?
Yes, Detective. The coroner's been asking to speak to you. I can connect the call if you like.
Please, thank you. Al?
Cole, can you get over here? I just finished the autopsy.
Sure thing, Mal. We'll be right over.
Das hätte die andere uns auch sagen können. Wie läuft. Und du schildst dein Leben, oder was?
This car cost me a fortune, you moron!
Ja, ist doch gut.
Nice move not telling old Sweet Lips in there about her friend taking the big jump till we were half out the door. Very slick.
I figured we'd get more out of her that way.
You're learning, Phelps. We'll make a vice cop out of you yet.
Take the next right.
Bisschen zerbeult, aber...
Pull over, we're here.
Nee, ja.
Cole, Roy, I have some information for you.
You're the only person enjoying this, Mal. Get on with it.
The bruising confirms 2 sets of hands, so we have 2 killers. Death was caused by heart failure due to an overdose of morphine.
Have you dragged us down here to gloat? We already heard your theory.
We agree that she was murdered.
Yes, of course.
I have something else to show you.
All right, Mal, what gives?
The dead guy's name is Jimmy LeBlanc, career burglar. He came in this morning. Someone stove his head in with a lump of 2x4.
So what? Good riddance.
I found 2 syrettes in his jacket pocket.
Wow.
Hang on a minute, Roy. We're listening, Mal.
No sign of morphine use and no metabolized morphine in his blood. Scratch marks on his face.
Which could be from getting his head remodeled.
Time of death, Mal.
Maybe an hour or 2 after the Randall girl.
So you're saying Laughing Boy here could be one of our killers? That's a hell of a long shot.
Thanks, Mal. We'll check it out.
I found something else.
Sorry, I don't play.
I don't know if it's significant. His wallet was empty. The only other things he was carrying were the harmonica and the morphine. Carruthers. Yeah, he's here. I'll send him over. They have a guy called Henry Arnett in interview 2 for you next door. Let me know how you get on.
Sure, Mal. And thanks for the lead.
Sure, Mel. Thanks for the lead.
Da kannst du auch nur den Kopf schütteln. Dürfte doch eigentlich... Hier vorne gleich sein. Okay.
Mr. Arnett, I'm Detective Phelps. This is Detective Earl. Thanks for coming in.
Call me Henry. It's the least I could do. Terrible news about Julie.
How well did you know Julia Randall?
Vaguely. I'm in the clothing business, and Julia occasionally modeled
And you were close?
We were friends.
Scheiße.
Miss Randall's landlady said she was seeing an older man.
Could have been. I wasn't privy to all the details of Julia's private life.
Spill it, Henry. You know nothing about a man named Henderson?
Yes, you're right. Henderson, yeah. Very distinguished.
How about a first name, wise guy? An address, maybe?
I'm sorry, I don't. I think he lives somewhere out of town. Somewhere back east.
Ich habe wirklich keinen Plan.
So you wouldn't have any reason to believe that LeBlanc would be involved in Julia Randall's murder?
If this guy is a criminal, he might have been involved. But like I said, I've never heard of this LeBlanc character.
Heather told us that you were in fashion.
That's right.
Hey, can you give me a hand? I got a hard case I gotta break.
Some kind of traveling salesman?
Once I got out of the Corps, I used my...
You were in the Marines?
Sure. I'm proud of it. Fighting 6th.
You were in the 6th Marines?
Yes. I was a captain.
Which company?
Various companies. We had a lot of casualties.
Which engagements?
Okinawa. A couple of other places.
That will be all for now, Henry. You've been very helpful.
That son of a bitch was never in the Marines. Why'd you let him off the hook?
Because we're giving him a couple of minutes before we start tailing him. Arnett is an amateur. We need to find out who killed the girl. Can you pass this on to Bukowski? Have him check the place out and go through his records.
Sure, I'll pass it on.
Thanks. Can you also have R&I run the records on a Jimmy LeBlanc and find out who was his last arresting officer? Have them get in touch via KGPL when they have some information.
Stalken wir.
He's in that car at the lights.
He was squirming like a worm in there. Don't you love it when they pull the war hero excuse? Actually, maybe you don't.
God damn it. Everyone's looking at us, Cole.
I'd have expected a cad like Arnett to be a better liar.
Gucken, wo er hinfährt.
Where are you taking us, Henry?
That idiot never stepped foot in Okinawa.
You got a pretty funny idea of what keeping a low profile means, Phelps. Shit. Better drop back, Cole.
He needs money and fast. Get in there and find out what he pawned. I'll stick with him, see how he intends to spend the money. Too much slack. Gotta get closer.
Hoof it, Phelps. I'll bring the car around when I'm done here.
Move in. Can't risk losing the trail. Too much slack. Gotta get closer. Move in. Can't risk losing the trail.
Grow up.
Hey, wie hat er uns gesehen? Hä? Geht doch gar nicht. Ja, kennen wir schon.
He needs money and fast. Get in there and find out what he pawned. I'll stick with him, see how he intends to spend the money. Too much slack. Gotta get closer.
Hoof it, Phelps. I'll bring the car around when I'm done here.
Oh Gott, ey. Wie ich das hasse. Versuchen weiter.
He needs money and fast. Get in there and find out what he pawned. I'll stick with him, see how he intends to spend the money. Move in. Can't risk losing the trail.
Hoof it, Phelps. I'll bring the car around when I'm done here.
Hä? Oh, kein Bock mehr. Vor uns noch ein paar Mal entdeckt.
That's right, Mexico City. One-way ticket, please. Next available seat.
That would be 1 day from now. Is that okay?
It's going to have to be.
LAPD, the man who just came in here, he bought a ticket?
Yes, sir. To Mexico City, tomorrow night.
If you hear from him again, don't mention this conversation.
What have you got?
He bought a ticket from Mexico City. Tomorrow night.
That's good. But this is better.
Oh my God. It's Fabergé.
Should have seen the look on the pawnbroker's face when I told him to hand it over.
The guy who owned the joint thought it was worth at least 10 large for a cigarette case. Arnett only got 600 clams.
Go ahead, KGPL.
11K, go to Hollywood Station. Homicide detectives Bukowski and Galloway have information relating to the Randall case.
Roger, KGPL. 11K, en route.
Car 11K, car 11 King, come in.
Car 11 King, go ahead.
R&I reports the last arresting officer for DOA Jimmy LeBlanc was Patrolman Fred Wallace, who's working a shift on Hollywood 9th Beat, Sunset Boulevard between Gordon and Wilcox.
Car 11K, en route.
Doch nicht.
A one-way ticket to Mexico. Old Henry's looking as guilty as a dog next to a pile of dog shit.
What's his motive?
I can think of a few, but I'd put my money south of the belt. One guy plus 2 dames always equals problems. You're gonna go right up ahead. What's wrong with you? Go straight over.
Oh ja, was soll ich schon sagen?
Turn left when you can. Straight over the next intersection.
my hand. Right behind you, Wallace. Detective Phelps.
Wallace,
Krass,
go
Alter.
left. I'm going right after this little prick in the alley.
Der.
Move, I gotcha. Reinforcements are on the way. Cease and desist. Stay down. You're covered, Phelps. As soon as he pokes his head out, we'll see. Give me some goddamn cover. No, he...
Dann selber noch am geilsten gerade, ey.
Thanks. Outstanding warrant, armed robbery. Knocked over a drugstore back there, and it looks like he brought his whole posse with him. Bad luck for them.
They're all yours now. We need some information.
Ever heard of a burglar goes by the name of Jimmy LeBlanc?
Sure. We nabbed Jimmy on a burglary beef a couple of years back. They cut through a music shop and into a jewelry store. He got 4 years. I miss his partner, though.
His partner?
Big guy. I had him cornered, and he picked up this huge display case and threw it out a plate glass window. Then he vaulted out of there like something out of Barnum and Bailey.
Got away.
I would have had him, except for LeBlanc yelling, "Run for it, Willie!"
And you think he was an acrobat of some sort?
More like a strongman, a wrestler, or a boxer, that kind of thing.
Thanks. You've been a big help.
You haven't done too badly yourself.
You're suggesting LeBlanc is still working with Willie?
A strong man held down Randall while someone administered the morphine. Someone with muscle opened up LeBlanc's skull. Could be.
So, weiter geht's.
Oh, no.
Oh.
No, 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 no! You did not just do that.
Was rennt er denn noch vors Auto?
We caught up with Mao. He's given us the dope on LeBlanc. He worked burglaries with a big guy. Goes by the name of Willie. He might be our killer. Can you work boxing gyms, the Y, promoters, that kind of stuff?
Since when have you started giving orders, Phelps? And where's the burglary angle? There was no sign of a...
That's where our net comes in. Next stop, we speak to Lacey about a list of recent burglaries.
The guy's a bum. His office is a front, and he's behind on the rent and his phone bill.
And he's skipping town. tomorrow.
Let's get him in and beat it out of him.
Do you want to bring in the killer, Rusty?
It could be too smart for your own good, Phelps. We've been talking about that, haven't we, boy? Stefan?
Finbar? Sir, I need the contraband list. Items stolen over the last year.
Hang on, I'll dig out a copy for you. Here you go.
Thanks.
Is the cigarette case on there?
Even the engagement ring was purloined. Arnett is a cad. It's here. Arnett must be out of his mind trying to move this while under a murder cloud.
Julia Randall's ring. It's here.
Seems Julia wasn't the first bored society girl to hide her bennies in that pillbox. So what next?
Hey,
help me out.
Okay. We check out this Eastern broad and see if we can make the link between the burglars and Arnett.
So you and Rusty have been having discussions. Anything you would like to tell me, partner?
Phelps, don't be so touchy. Rusty had his best ever clearance rate working with you. Even if the cases he worked on can't be discussed. We were just comparing notes. You're a Booneroo case man, Phelps. One of the best I've ever seen.
Thanks.
Danke, danke, danke.
You gotta learn to take a compliment, Phelps.
It's the next right. A hopped-up model, a cad, and a circus freak. Only in L.A.
Fairy... Are you crazy?
Und schwer im nächsten reingefahren.
Take the next left.
Fairy tales of the rich and famous.
More like pathetic tales of the desperate to be rich and famous. Junkie Goldilocks and the Three Bears.
Arnett, LeBlanc, and Willie.
Don't you go putting the pieces together again You're paying for every last scratch!
Oh, das war knapp.
Don't you go putting the pieces together again before they fit, Phelps. Listen to your old pal Rusty. Or should I say Finbar.
I wouldn't call him that if I were you.
What do you care? It doesn't sound like you're the top. I hope you got some money saved up.
He gives everyone a hard time. That's just how he is.
Whatever gets you through the day, Cole. Son of a bitch!
You've helped quite enough.
Gut. Ist gut.
Take the next right. It's the next left.
Mann, oh Mann, oh Mann, da fahren wir ja ein ganzes Stück.
Keep straight.
This is...
Slow.
Schönes Haus.
Nice house.
Wort gleich.
LAPD, ma'am. Is Mrs. Eavestrom in?
She is. Would you follow me, sir?
I am Mrs. Eastrom. How may I help you?
We appear to have recovered some stolen goods that belong to you, ma'am.
Yes, of course. That terrible burglary. Would you like something to drink?
No, thank you, ma'am. We have some questions, if you don't mind.
Why would I mind, young man, if you are returning 43 pieces of my property?
Okay, before we get down to that, I'll have a scotch. Thanks, straight up.
Maria, can you get the detective a drink, please?
Säuft sich die Hucke voll, ey.
Can you describe to us what was stolen?
It would be easier to describe what wasn't stolen, detective. A priceless tiara that has been in the family for 50 years. A Fabergé cigarette case that was worth $25,000.
Hm, 10.000. Sind wir hinter 25.
So you have no idea who did this burglary? A lot of these cases tend to be inside jobs.
How dare you impugn my character and the character of my staff? If you have no further questions, I suggest you leave.
What can you tell us about the burglary?
A terrible night, at least a year ago. But let's not go into that. Let's talk about what you've recovered.
Bäh. Was soll man da jetzt nehmen?
Were you in the house when the burglary took place?
Good heavens, no. I was at a social function held by a Dr. Harold Stoneman and his lovely wife. I returned home and all of my things were missing.
Oh, Stoneman.
That's about it for now, Mrs. Eastrom. The department will get in touch and let you know how you can recover your valuables.
You've only mentioned a few of the items that have been stolen, Detective. What else has been recovered?
You see, Phelps? That's why you get the drinks in early.
Hello, Mother. Hello, detectives. What is going on?
We'd like to ask exactly the same question.
You have met my daughter?
This morning at work. Oh, mother and father divorced. I took my father's name.
The detectives recovered some of the things that were stolen, darling.
Well, what did you find?
A sapphire ring on the corpse of Julia Randall.
What are you talking about?
Your engagement ring, Miss Swanson. Would you be surprised to know that it was part of the proceeds of a burglary?
That's an outrageous allegation.
Yes, it is. I suggest we go straight to Henry Arnett's place and sort this mess out. We're missing something here. Arnett is obviously arranging the burglaries.
That's my fiance you're making scurrilous accusations about.
And Randall was obviously his partner.
But neither of them are the type to creep apartments.
You're being ridiculous. Both of you. There's a very good explanation for all of this.
Put a sock in it, sister. You're being played for a patsy and you're not even smart enough to see it.
It's the next right. Go straight over. Go straight.
Take the next right.
Look where you're going. Go straight over. Straight through the intersection. Straight over the next intersection. Go straight through. Straight through the intersection. Go straight. Take the next left turn.
Ach nee. Spontan ist halt nicht so mein Ding.
Christ! Go straight through.
Gott, ey, wie weit ist das denn?
Straight over. You need to take the next right. Christ alive, this is a nightmare! Keep going straight. Go straight through. Take the next left.
Take the next right.
Next right.
Oh, hier vorne ist es auch nicht.
Come
I'm
on,
not a
sister.
loss.
Let's find out who your fiancé really is.
Welcome, sir. I'm sorry, are you a resident?
LAPD detectives. We're here to speak to Henry Arnett.
Oh, Mr. Arnett? Apartment 30. You can take the lift.
Thank you.
Well, isn't this just nice and awkward?
Stop!
Don't kill
LAPD!
him, Cole. This guy's our case.
Go on,
Put your hands in the air! Give it up! LAPD! Don't make me chase you!
Looks like he got you good, Phelps.
Yeah, he really packs a wallop. How did I get back here?
Under your own steam, miraculously. He came in through the window, said hello, and then keeled over.
How was Arnett?
He's coming around, too. He's all hopped up. Good time to get some answers.
You missing something, Henry? You told Heather you're honeymooning without her? Vacheron Constantine. That's an extremely expensive watch, Henry.
A graduation present from my parents.
Not sure this means much. Seems irrelevant. It would take a smarter man than me to connect that. Not everything here is going to be relevant. Doesn't tell me anything.
We know all about the jewelry ring. You and Randall and LeBlanc and Willie doing the legwork.
I'm in the fashion business.
You're lying, Henry.
How can you prove that I'm involved, Detective?
That's fine, yeah.
I thought as much. Shouldn't you be calling me an ambulance or something?
Why did Reed and LeBlanc kill Julia Randall?
I wanted to stop, to get out of that life. I was going to marry Heather if she'd have me. Julia told the others that they were out, that she was going to create a new gang.
You wanted Julia Randall out of your life.
Why would he want that? Julia was our friend.
Julia was his hump, sweetheart. They were the Bonnie and Clyde of society burglars. He met you and realized he didn't have to steal anymore. He could just mooch from you. He needed Julia out of the way.
Julia was insatiable. She didn't care about anyone, not the least me. She was never going to go back to the poverty she came from. I wanted it to stop.
Who is Henderson, and what is his involvement?
Tell them what you know, Henry. I'll stand by you if you'll only tell the truth.
There is no Henderson.
Give it up, Arnett. You're facing the gas chamber. Give the judge some reason to commute.
You still don't get it, do you? Julia entrapped everyone. She was so beautiful, so goddamn cold.
Henry Arnett, you are under arrest for burglary and for the murder of Julia Randall.
Henderson is Stoneman, all right? I'm not the guy you want. Go talk to the good doctor.
Oh, we will, knucklehead. Meanwhile, we're fitting you for convict stripes.
Komisch, komisch, komisch. Naja, es ist schon spät in der Nacht.
I guess the wedding's off.
He only robbed her mother and killed her best friend. Cut the guy some slack.
So how does the doctor fit in?
That's what we're about to find out. Maybe we should ask him to give you a quick once-over. That meathead gave you one hell of a pasting.
I've had worse.
You should have seen yourself staggering back in there like a drunken sailor.
Next time you can take the runner, Roy.
I didn't box in the Marines, though, did I?
Should have never told you that.
What are you doing?
You're a...
Die Bewertung wird bestimmt sehr schlecht.
Time for the doctor to give us something to make this all better. Hang on a moment, sister. Tell him it's Henry Arnett, and tell him it's urgent.
I can't do that.
Tell him, or I'll charge you with obstruction of justice.
Doctor, I'm afraid Mr. Arnett is here to see you, and he says it's urgent.
Send him in.
I told you never to come.
Tell us the truth, Doctor.
I'm so glad you came. Prison will be better than insanity, and I'm already half insane with grief. You know that I loved her. I ruined my life for her, and yet I still love her.
Will you testify in court that Arnett and Randall did these robberies?
They organized the robberies. Julie would get the names of the guests attending my wife's parties. Didn't matter how much money I showered upon her, it was never enough. She never really cared for me.
Doctor, I'm afraid you're under arrest.
The practice. You'll call Dr. Gerard. No. Please don't cry. I want to see no one. Not my wife, or my children, nor my friends. And I don't want a lawyer. Just lock me up and throw away the key. What have I done?
Didn't see that coming.
Okay.
Operator, give me R&I.
Putting you through now.
I need an ambulance and the coroner immediately to the offices of Dr. Harold Stoneman, 1646 Ivor Street, Hollywood.
En route, Detective. You have a message. Detective Bukowski says the suspect is named Wilson Willie the Wolf Reed, former wrestler. Last known address is an apartment building at the corner of Hollywood and Vine. Detective Bukowski says to meet them there.
On our way. We have an address for the runner.
Let's try and wrap this up then.
Naja.
That old boy really fell for that broad.
She was incredibly beautiful.
Would you throw it all away for a woman?
Life has a way of making you pay for your pride.
You're quite the romantic, Phelps. Stick with the percentages. Broken hearts are for chumps.
You're talking from experience.
I certainly am. Oh, I like women as much as the next guy. As long as they're in their place and doing what they're told.
C'est la côte de docteur.
Thank God I didn't park there.
Na, mal gucken, wie lange der Fall noch geht.
He's around here somewhere. A big guy. Neighbors say he always wears basketball shoes and a cream jacket. And get this. The kids around here say he plays the harmonica.
Find a game well and have the commander set up a dragnet. We want the area closed off. We'll take this side of the street.
A harmonica-playing wrestler. That's a weird one. Think he knits as well?
Just keep your eyes open and your mouth shut. We don't want him to bolt on us.
He wouldn't be that way. I think you're barking up the wrong tree.
Wait. Bull. You hear that?
Wilson Reed, LAPD, give yourself up.
Woher läuft ihr denn? Und hoch hier. Den Sack schnappen wir uns. Was hilft es denn da? Und schaut er hier hochklettert, der andere Typ.
Hold it. He's got to be around here somewhere. No place to go unless he grew wings.
There he is! Wait, the son of a bitch!
Son of a bitch really picked a spot for it up here, didn't he?
So, das war's wohl mit dem Fall.
Julia Randall's folks are flying in from New York tomorrow to claim the body. I saw her on the slab. So perfect. Looked like she was made of porcelain. She really made an impression on me.
Julia had that impact on a lot of men.
Christ, it's cold. You guys did good work here today. Roy, I think you should buy your brother officers a drink.
Mehr als ein.
Do you now? That's very generous of you, Lieutenant.
Naja, das war auf jeden Fall der Fall, die nackte Stadt. Leider nur mit 2 von 5 Sternen. Ich hoffe mal, der nächste Fall läuft besser. Ja, ich hoffe, der Stream hat euch gefallen. Und ich würde sagen, wir sehen uns dann im nächsten Video oder im nächsten Stream wieder. Bis dann. Tschüss.